It's funny, you got all different types of rivalries, but it's great. You have two very confident riders, two riders that know in their heart, no matter what they say, they know that they're the best.
Kenny's one of the best riders in the world, but Cooper has off-the-charts instincts.
Webb comes across and blocks Roczen! Webb wins in Houston! Unbelievable!
You know, he's just fueling the fire, and I'm ready for it.
Roczen is on a mission. He knows he is right where he needs to be.
And it's Roczen pulling the three-peat in Indy. Ken Roczen takes back what he thinks is rightfully his. And look at this up front. Here comes Cooper Webb. Webb goes from third to first, just like that.
In my mind, when I'm watching it, I'm like, look, he needs to punt Webb one good time to make him understand.
Clearly, he showed how much he's focused on himself.
I'm watching Ken Roczen get abused by Cooper Webb.
I think Cooper deep down feels like he owns Kenny mentally.
I think for Kenny, though, it's important for him. That was a sense of like, hey, you're losing focus. Get back to what you're doing every single weekend and don't get caught up in this massive stuff.
And Cooper Webb wins night #1 in Arlington.
It's so awesome to see two riders at their prime going at it. And it's like, oh, this is great. And everyone's got the favorite. Everyone, you know, picked one, picked the other. Like them, hate them. This is gonna be one of the best years of Supercross history. And it's only gonna get better from here.
Cooper, this week we saw a lot of hype around last week at Daytona with the comments from Ken and sort of the hype that social media makes. Does that affect you? Does that affect the mentality?
It creates a good story, that's for sure. But yeah, I love it and I feed off of it. Yeah, it is pretty mental. This morning, I was trying to get out of bed. I'm like, ooh. But you're only 18. You should be not a problem. Young buck. I'm old, dude. I'm old, washed up.
Somebody said that Dallas one was big. I mean, it was big because Kenny got 6 and the points completely changed.
Cooper has some momentum, and we all know he's dangerous when he gets momentum in his favor.
Can't golf, dude. You're missing out.
Dude, I can't. I'm good. Let's go. I can golf in the breaks.
I don't need your daddy TK yelling at me for being a bad influence, dude.
If you were looking for some sort of crack in the foundation, that was pretty compelling on Saturday. That was by far the worst we've seen Ken Roczen ride by a long shot.
Do you think there's anything to be worried about, JT?
Yes, I think there's a lot to be worried about.
You never want to get into a pissing match with somebody, but sometimes you need that little bit of fuel to get you going and get you motivated and fired up. I'd say it worked out. So far, for me, it works out really well. It's hard base.
Might feel a little stiff at the forks.
Yeah, it does. And then shock to a stop. But especially on initial movement.
Initial.
Like whenever I get on the gas, I feel like the rear is like...
It looks a little bit softer then after the finish line when you hit that ditch before
soft. On the rear. I agree. I think the whole thing's a little too soft.
And the rear, yeah.
But balance is off. Like I think the forks are fine. We just need to stick in the rear and then we'll be fine.
Yep. Good start, buddy.
Tuesday is going to be a big night in the story of this championship. And if you're Webb, you're just rubbing your hands together, Filippo style, because for as much as Ken Roczen says that he's worrying about himself and Cooper's not in his head, I think the evidence tells a different story.
Who will get the win here? 450 main event is off. And Cooper Webb with an absolute brilliant start. Grabs that inside line and the hole shot. But Eli Tomac is right there with him. So many storylines here as we are getting down to the final round.
This is exactly what we want to see. This is a really tough position for Cooper Webb to be in. You got Eli Tomac just hounding you the whole time, and you can't escape, you can't get away.
Ken Roczen currently second place overall, sitting third, but Ricky, he is a good 5-6 seconds back.
And this isn't going to age well for Ken Roczen. And the reason that is he was in the perfect position to make things happen.
In the end, it is Cooper Webb bringing it home, making it 2 in a row in Arlington.
Huge swing in the points, Stevie. Got Cooper Webb. We saw what he did in Daytona. And then he goes and wins the 2 Dallas races that were very start dependent, but they are what they are, and he got the starts, and he's got a 12-point lead now. What the hell happened? He was right there. They started 1, 2, 3. Kenny was right on Tomac's wheel, and they pulled away a little bit.
I think
what's going on with Roczen?
It's unfortunate for Kenny because this is what Cooper wants. Cooper wants a showdown where it's more about those two going back and forth mentally and physically than it is about Kenny being able to focus on himself.
With Cooper, this championship means everything. Where Kenny, it does mean everything, but he's got his family, man. And he's living every day. Every time he lines up on the starting line, you can almost see the smile. And I feel like it's a very different position to be in.
I actually enjoy work like this for a little bit of time. Not when it's constant, but...
It's hard to beat someone that's entire life is determined on how they finish that night. But I believe Kenny can do it because it means a lot. It means a lot to him to be a champion. It means a lot to him to come back.
We've always been good buds.
Yeah.
See, now that's when the awkwardness comes on.
He was so tight when he was racing. He didn't want to.
I didn't want
to talk or nothing.
I didn't want to party. I didn't want to do any of it.
More like the other way around, though. The hardest thing at this point is just keeping the focus where you need it to be, and that's just, you know, race to race, just like you approached race 1, race 2, race 3. You do that to the end.
I'm now at the point with 6 races left. I don't know how he's going to make up 12 points, man. 12 points seems like 25 points.
It's not done. I think it's still a 50-50 chance.
I think big part is to just not overthink it. Like for me, what's the game plan now? I can't, like, what am I gonna do? Just change everything, flip everything upside down, do everything different to try and, no, you stay in your lane, you do what you do.
The momentum is just crazy. Like, I don't see how Kenny gets these 12 points back.
Yeah, it didn't feel good when you beat me in the championship in 14. I mean,
oh yeah,
some young buck coming like, oh man, I was looking a little hefty one off season. He started,
I don't remember that. I do not recall.
Looking a little fat, done. Just like, damn, like, listen to this guy.
It just feels like a tidal wave for Roczen, and now it feels like a tidal wave for Webb.
I feel like Coop's probably a guy where mentally he's really trying to beat dudes before they go to the line, and I think that that's a big part of why Coop won the championship in 2019.
I think the biggest thing as a kid my dad always taught me was just never give up. He didn't care if I got last, first, second, but if I gave up, he was pissed.
Webb is just the master at executing. He is those 20 minutes in that main event, you're going to see his best.
He's a gamer. He is a gamer.
Normally, we come here in December and do a bunch of testing before Anaheim, but with the series starting how it did, we never came out. So I've been in Florida since, you know, October.
Cooper is that rider. If he can be there at the end, he has the one-up mentally. Even if he doesn't, he thinks he does. And just believing that you do, placebo effect, he is smart enough and fast enough to get the upper hand 9 out of 10 times.
Kept it forward, but I stayed forward, but I hit the ground before I even got to my ball. You know, I really just care about what I think of myself and what my family thinks of me, what my wife, and I don't do what I do for anyone else but myself. And I sleep like a baby at night because of that.
He's an animal, man. Yeah. And it's just nothing seems to faze him. And like when there's adversity, I feel like it just fuels the fire.
My warm-up and stuff takes a little bit in general. Because I have to do these like breathing exercises before we even actually start lifting.
In
Cooper Webb's caught fire. He's really gained some confidence. And like you said, I think he did find something with the bike, because it's all of a sudden like he went from, kind of a top 5 guy to like a dominant guy. He's not standing up for himself out there. And I think the reason why the second half here has been a little tough is because he won't take a stand.
Now, Roczen, I would love to see him just go clean Cooper out in practice. I think that'd be phenomenal. Just be like, you know what, I've had enough. Wham, just drop him. That would send a message. He might take a fine. Who cares?
Like you try and punt somebody, then you go down like I did in 2018 or whenever that was. That didn't necessarily get me very far. Like if I just focus on that the whole time, I'm already losing sight of what I actually want to do,
It feels like Webb has figured out that if he can just wait it out, right, he can withstand this first couple of lap barrage that Roczen has, then the rest of the race is going to come to him, and he's just proven that time and time again.
Kenny Roczen sliding out in front. There's Cooper Webb on the inside. So it is definitely on in the 450 class as Cooper Webb sits in second and Kenny Roczen out in front.
Ken knows that he pulled away from Cooper in the heat race, and he can't get frustrated. He's got to stick to what he's doing and hit his marks.
We just know how this normally looks, and it looks exactly like this.
Oh, it's tightening up right here. Ken Roczen, he's got to focus on what he's doing there. Can't look back too much.
When he's on him with 5 minutes to go, he's got to be like, this is totally mine now.
He's got Ken right where he wants him. No need to push it. Oh, he got it. He got it. I thought Ken was going to run him high and take him to the hay bales, and he doesn't.
Cooper Webb takes a look over his shoulder, and it will be Cooper Webb sweeping Arlington.
Kenny had to win that. Kenny had to win that one.
Yeah, and he did.
Amazing, right? Amazing. Technical track. Kenny's a technical rider. He's up front. It's all there for him. And Webb tracks him down. Amazing. I get it. He's a clean guy. He doesn't want to do that. But come on. After what he did to you at Daytona.
I think he's scared of me, That's why he plays these kind of games. But little does he know, I like to play as well. I'm ready for it.
After the thing that you said on the podium at Daytona, you have this chance. He catches you. You can't. Cade.
I know, man.
I'm not saying you got to T-bone him and knock him down, but can you get in there?
Bump him.
The guy can deal with pressure. Maybe better than anybody I've worked with. It's unbelievable. He did not have a good heat race, as you guys all know, but when it counts, he can do something special. Yeah.
Oh, we're switching things up a little bit here at Glen Helen. Do a little bit of motocross riding and get used to hitting fourth gear again, man. I'm a fan of Glen Helen on Thursday. It can be a little crazy, but it makes the track rough, so it's always exciting to come and turn some laps.
As impressive as Webb has been in the past at doing this, to me, this might have been the most impressive turnaround. I did not see this coming.
I feel like I kind of have that underdog fight, and I still feel like that, even though I'm, you could arguably one of the best riders in the sport right now.
He was 16 down, now he's 15 up in 5-6 races. It's incredible.
I want to win, and that's sometimes my flaw. That's all I care about. I truthfully believe like I'll kind of do whatever it takes to win.
Dan, you gotta outright the guy goes, the outfield there, much better.
Actually feels pretty good. Huh? It actually feels pretty good.
That's what we were saying. It looks pretty damn good. He likes this fork better. He feels this fork closer. Yeah, he's quite happy right now.
I understand his ability and what he is capable of doing and how strong he is mentally. I feel like he's in the right place at the right time.
Well, back to the national, buddy.
We're used to going faster again.
Huh? I see.
Yeah.
She says she wants to ride in my car. Girl, you must mistaken me for a rock star. I have pretty much almost given up on myself before, you know, after last year and whatever, just because things just aren't the same anymore. I kind of came back and, you know, sometimes surprised myself a little bit. So if I would be able to win a championship again in general, I feel like my career would be kind of complete, I guess you could say, especially after, you know, what happened. So it'd be insane. Like if I would pull this off, it would, I don't know what it would feel like, but me thinking about it definitely gets me super excited.
He probably is feeling a little bit deflated right now, but he can't worry about that. He has got to look at the big picture.
Kenny's going to be strong to the end. He's going to be smart. He's going to know where my weaknesses are. And as Kenny, you got to be that guy that's going out there. He's having fun, but he's got to know that he's got to get out there. He's got to go hard, and he's got to get away from Cooper.
Ken making a push. He's going to go for it.
It's going to have to come quickly here. Ken Roczen in the second place position.
The thing I've been trying to keep reminding him is just, you know, make sure he keeps the focus on himself. Keep the perspective, not to really get too caught up in the points.
Definitely got to kind of get back to the grit that I had in the beginning of the season. All it takes is one bad race going the other way, and the gap will go back quick. So I'm just stoked to be in this position. For Supercross, I've never really been that close, only 5 races out, you know?
I've always had respect for even the guys that I hated. I hated more than anybody in the world. I don't think the sportsmanship's gonna stop. I think you'll see some more jabs coming across on the interviews, and that just makes it more fun as a fan, because I'm a fan.
You turn back around and then you appreciate it, but you always, like everybody, you know, everybody has emotions, you're just human, so sometimes there's just a specific time when you just think a little bit more thoroughly about the in-depth of your thoughts, you know what I mean, technically. But then there's others where you're like, eh, and then you just look past it, you know, and then other times you dig deeper.